Good evening, everybody. This is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brian Panovich. Rare day off here on a Thursday going into the holiday weekend, really, as a lot of people will be getting out of town for your Friday and Saturday. Obviously, the big story of the day is the wind, the rain, the cold, the snow. We've got a little bit of everything going on across the country right now. You can see our big storm system. The center of the low is actually over the southern Great Lakes, and this is bomb for a low pressure center. Some of the pressures in and around lower southern part of Michigan are in the 980s. I mean, that's very impressive. 986 millibars is a very deep low pressure. So we've got blizzard-like conditions on the backside. I'll take the isobars off, and you can see all of the snow on the backside. In fact, look at this beautiful view. There's no clouds here. This is actually a clear day, and we're getting close to sunset now, and you can see the beautiful snow cover on the ground. Notice it coming off the Rockies as well over here. We got some nice shadows going on. And again, obviously the rivers have not frozen over and all the lakes are still open. But this is all snow right in here. And you can see the big swath of it that extends from parts of Kansas, Nebraska. Iowa got the worst snow so far, but now in parts of Wisconsin, 14 inches being reported now. Just 3 miles west of Beaver Dam. So some really heavy snow. For us, it's this really heavy rain, but the concern is the damaging winds coming in on the backside. I'm going to flip over to the wind gust here, and we're going to show you what these look like. These wind gusts back in here, we're talking 40, 50 knot winds, which are between 50 and 60 mile an hour winds, and we're seeing all kinds of damage reports coming out of Tennessee near the North Carolina border. Right now, we've just got some occasionally gusty winds, but along the Tennessee line here, we're going to start to see some really strong winds moving. In fact, let's look at first warn Doppler radar. And on the left is the Doppler velocities, and on the right is what you typically see at home. We show you that the Doppler radar. But let me show you the Doppler velocities, because what you're looking at is how fast the winds are going. The radar is actually detecting where the particles are going and how fast. So when you get far away from the radar, you start going up in height. So when you get over into these areas where you start to see kind of these yellows up here over Charlotte, up towards the mountains, right in that area, you're about at that distance from the radar, you're roughly at about 4,000 to 5,000 feet. But those winds correspond to the velocities on the left, which you can see over here. Look over here. Between 60 and 80 mile an hour winds just off the surface of the ground. We've also got a big area of 60 to 80 mile an hour winds at that same altitude. And occasionally, even closer to the radar, you're seeing a few winds mixed down. But remember, the mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains, go up about 6,000 feet. So a lot of the mountain communities are actually intersecting some of these winds already. And with the front moving in, some of these winds will actually mix down to the surface. I'm going to show you a cross section of the atmosphere here from the Buffkett sounding. So what you're looking at here, you look at the bottom of the screen. You're looking at the time. So you can see right now, this is that white line is the current time. I'll get my telestrator here and explain. This line right here is 5,000 feet. This is 10,000 feet up in the atmosphere. And if you look carefully, you can see these kind of purplish shades. 60 to 70 mile an hour winds are nosing down below 5,000 feet. And you're saying, well, that's 5,000 feet. But remember, most of our mountain communities, if you go up 3,000 to 4,000 feet, stick up into those winds already. And then what's happening with the cold front and the rain, some of these winds are mixing down, we call it, to the surface. When you get turbulence in the atmosphere, winds going like this, it starts mixing down some of those stronger gusts. So as we go out in time, if you notice, we get into a little bit of a lull tonight, though it's still going to be pretty windy. And then going into Friday night and Saturday, as the cold air advection really cranks up, we see another blast of strong winds. So the mountains, this thing is going to last through the weekend, and we've already seen these damage reports, as I referred to, over in parts of Tennessee. In fact, you can see these damage reports, several trees down near the city of Chuckey, which is in Greene County in Tennessee. Trees down, numerous limbs down, roof shingles blown off roofs as well. Several sheds blown down here in Camp Creek, and then over here in Gatlinburg, this is in the Smoky Mountains. Numerous trees and tree limbs down in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Many park roads have been closed, and basically the Park Service has shut down the park because they've seen gusts over 80 to 90 miles an hour. So for that reason, we are going to see a lot of trees and power lines down in the North Carolina mountains overnight. So if you live in Avery, Ashe, Watauga County, down through Mitchell, all the way down to Buncombe County, and then all the way down towards Bryson City, we are going to see some really strong winds overnight that could knock down trees and power lines. And with the cold air coming in on the backside, just to give you an idea how cold this air is, I'm going to show you some of the temperatures on the back side of this. We'll show you what it looks like temperature-wise going out to the future. You can see the cold air spilling in on the back side of this system. All that cold air as we go out to the future, let's go out a couple more hours, into the evening hours, this cold air is going to be spilling into the Carolinas. So if you get power outage and it gets down into the 20s tonight with wind chills in the teens, it's going to be tough to stay warm. So folks, just be ready. This is going to be a long, windy night and a long, windy couple of days. And then we'll start talking about the snow, because this snow up in here is going to rotate around on the backside, and we're going to see some lake-enhanced snows and that northwest flow set up into the mountains. I'm thinking right now 2 to 4 inches, but I wouldn't be shocked to see some higher totals up into the Virginias. You're probably talking about 4 to 6 in the lower elevations, and maybe 10 to 20 inches at like Snowshoe and Wisp up in Garrett County up there in western Maryland. I think a lot of these areas are going to get some really heavy snow because of the duration of this. So that's a quick update. If you have outdoor decorations, you have those inflatable Christmas stuff, you may want to go ahead and just take them in tonight and maybe keep them in for the weekend. I know it kind of spoils the holiday, but get ready. Strong winds, and even in the Piedmont, we're going to see 30 to 40 mile-an-hour winds with some higher gusts overnight through the day on Saturday. Of course, I'll be back on the air on Friday, and of course, if you have any questions, please hit me up on Facebook and Twitter. I hope you have a great Thursday, and I'll see you tomorrow back